not just any day. It's Mr. Throwback Thursday.
All you kids want to get on and shit.
You are now about to witness the strength of street knowledge.
I'll be damned.
At the count of three, I want y'all to tell me the name of my DJ. 1, 2, 3.
Poppers popping, the breakers break. All the fellas say oh and the girls say hey. Give it up for the DJ, Mr. Throwback Thursday.
And now, here's your hosts, Bill Winters and Mr. Throwback Thursday himself, Jamie Robinson.
Let's try this again. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to the Mr. Throwback Thursday podcast. It is your two favorite idiots. Bill is in New York. Jamie is in Virginia. How are you, my friend?
I am well. As I've told some of you before, it was a little chilly here today. And I went over to my mom's. You know, had to check some stuff out for her. She had delivery
Bagging
going
on moms?
You talk about my moms? Talk about my moms? But yeah, it was a chilly day. All things are good. You know, fairly uneventful aside from my pool issue. And
Yeah, which those who have been on with us already know.
Yeah.
Long story short,
I need a
Jamie
new pool
uncovered
liner.
his pool, had no water in his shallow end.
Yeah. So I'm needing to buy myself a new pool liner before the whole pool goes to shit. So now that everybody's caught up on that.
Yeah, no, pools are they're a money pit, man.
Yeah, I gotta say I haven't had any issues. I mean, we had a little pinhole when they first put it in, but they paid for that because it was their fault. And aside from that, I haven't had any problems. And we've had it for 6 years now. This is the 6th year.
Yeah.
So, you know, shit happens. It was bound to come back and get me sooner or later.
Say, I know you were probably about due.
Yeah.
And we were about due for a night where we had all sorts of shitty technical difficulties.
Yeah, because we've been
Probably
doing pretty
because
good.
we're back recording at night again.
Yeah. Yeah, because we'd been doing really good. We're not having any hiccups or mistakes or technical errors, but no. We get all that payback tonight.
But the good thing is now that we're recording at night, we're getting a lot of people joining us on Facebook
Yes.
Live, which we are streaming live on as we speak and recording so that you can listen to it on Thursday. And we have all sorts of stuff to go over tonight. We've got a ton of hip-hop headlines. We got decent amount of woo news. We've got a one and done that, as I said before, made me kind of go, huh? And we have a record of the week by a friend of the show.
Yep.
Keeping with the female artists as we recognize Women's History Month. We'll remind you who the one and done is for our last week of March, and you get to start thinking about who you want as your artist of the month for April, because that'll be next week. But we got a lot of road to cover and not a whole lot of tread on the tires. So what do you say we go right into hip-hop headlines, shall we?
Let's do that.
To the hip, dip, the hop, you don't stop, don't stop. Got effects with the real hip hop, hip hop. To the hip, dip, the hop, you don't quit, don't quit. Got effects and we came to rip shit, rip shit. To the hip, dip, the hop, you don't stop, don't stop. Got effects with the real hip hop, hip hop. To the hip, dip, the hop, you don't quit, don't quit.
This is Hip Hop Headlines brought to you by Mr. Throwback Thursday.
We'll get on it. It's your time.
Okay, and since it's my turn, and since we're already behind the 8 ball, I'm going to get right into it. You have titled this one Queen from Queens.
Yes.
And this is something that you and I both undertook this weekend, and both very glad we did.
Yeah, it was one of those. This is not one of those things that we could wait and say, yeah, well, I'll catch that in a couple of weeks or in a month after everybody's seen it. No. This is one of those things we've been waiting for and had to see when it dropped.
And the thing with that is I very rarely get to watch a whole lot of stuff on Netflix without having my family completely interrupt stuff.
Yep.
But I got up bright and ugly yesterday morning. Was it either yesterday or Saturday?
Saturday, I
don't remember
think
what
it
day
was. 'Cause it came out Friday.
It was Saturday,
I think you watched
it was.
Saturday, yeah.
And I watched this at about 7:30 in the morning before anybody even got out of bed. So The Source magazine, thesource.com, gives us our first article of hip-hop headlines. And it says Shantae's biopic, Roxanne, premieres and educates fans on Queensbridge's finest. While people think smack when they think about battle rap, the bearded owner of URL did not invent the art form, nor did he give it its style or flair. Battling was at the center of the hip-hop movement. And yes, we all know it started in the Bronx, but it was something about those Queens MCs that made people stop and listen. And we're talking about stopping their tracks even before Nas became your favorite rapper's rapper.
Yeah, every time you say that, I hear Curtis Blow, up in the Bronx where the people are fresh. There was one DJ. Every time you say the Bronx, that's what I hear.
LL Cool J is probably the first rapper you think of that sought to battle and destroy any opponent that stepped up. And before we go any further, good luck to LL Cool J on the launch of Rock the Bells Radio on Wednesday, I believe.
Yep. Yeah, it starts Wednesday. And then that
starts Wednesday as we record. So when you listen to this, it will be one day old.
Yes, and if you are live now and you have XM, go over and listen to Kaz do his before.
Bust his poetry.
Yeah, before. It's in his book. I have, the one that he signed. It's the second to last one in the book before the Art of Rap. It's called Before. And it's just on a constant loop until Wednesday's launch.
With a little bit of DJ in there, which is really cool. Anyway, getting back to LL Cool J is probably the first rapper you think of that sought to battle and destroy any opponent that stepped up, but he was not the lyricist, leaving people shaken in their boots. That honor belongs to the girl with the braces, Roxanne Shante. And while the world knows her from her hit clapback single Roxanne's Revenge, and not so much from the potato...
I lost you there. Potato chip.
Yeah. Well, that's what happens when you mention potato chip and Roxanne's real fat. It says it was her reputation as a beast on the mic that made Marley Marl call her up to his apartment on that life-changing day to record the song in one take between washing clothes and drying, or as he said in the interview in the movie, while she was washing drawers and stuff.
Yeah, when I was talking to DJ B when I was on his show that time, this is one of the things that he brought up. He said, and it's wild that it was done off the top and in one take. And I had always heard that rumor, but to see it in here, not just because I see it in a movie, I'm going to believe it now, but, it lends more weight to it to actually see her come out and say, yes, this is what happened.
And she was an executive producer on this movie, so... It says, don't worry if you didn't know all that history. The new Netflix film, Roxanne, which came out on the 23rd, will get you up to speed. Masterfully told by writer and director Michael Larnell, this biopic takes you from her humble beginnings as a battle rapper in the projects to her epic rise as one of the first queens of hip-hop. In 1985, Roxanne Shante was probably the first female rapper to cross over commercially, creating the soundtrack for a whole generation of femcs to listen, study, and with all their might try to duplicate her style. The film stars the incomparable Nia Long, an Academy Award winner, Mahershala Ali, and along with Kevin Phillips,
he's in Luke Cage.
Mahershala
Ali was in Luke Cage.
He did a great job in this thing. Eden Duncan Smith, Drew Tillman, Lyric Hurd, Chanel Edmonds, Tremaine Brown Jr., and newcomer Shantae Adams.
Yes, with a CH.
Kind of cool. They found somebody named Shantae to play Shantae. Yeah. Produced by the same team that brought you Dope, Pharrell Williams and Forrest Whitaker. The movie takes you through her struggles growing up in Queensbridge, how she helped raise her sisters, her rise to epic stardom at the age of 16, and answers the question, what happened to Shantae? So what happened to her? At the New York City premiere, all the old school stars came out in full force. Of course, Roxanne was there. Hip-hop personalities like Bevy Smith, Choke No Joke, Marvette Brito, and Ralph McDaniels, who was also a producer on the film. Pharrell also popped out, as did Master Ace from the Juice Crew. Cool DJ Red Alert.
Yes. Friend of the show.
CNN. DJ Scratch, DJ Cupmaster Cool V, Steph Marbury, and we hear Biz Marquee was on the Wheels of Steel. Films about the golden era of rap music seem to be a new trend. Studios are flashing back to the old to find something new, and the fans are here for it. Whether it's Netflix series The Get Down, or hit films like Straight Outta Compton, Notorious, and All Eyes on Me, seems people just want to know about hip hop's history. Now, Roxanne will surely help you to do that. Now,
Yes.
we both saw it this weekend.
Yes, we did.
If I was going to go the Rotten Tomatoes thing on a scale of 100, I would give it a solid 90.
Yeah, I would be right there with you. There were some cool little things in there, like her little friend Nasir, who couldn't spit his raps. That was nice.
You better come back with that rap all tight, or else I'm gonna go kick your ass. She says,
Yeah. And he did.
and
And even had himself
right at
a
the end
name.
of the film, Nazir. What did you get a rap name?
Yeah.
Nas.
Yeah. I was like, what? Because I caught it when he said his name, and I didn't know if it was going to be him. But I heard that.
I knew the minute she said, or the minute I heard Nazir, I said, "That's fucking Nas."
But the kid, it's funny that they mentioned the Get Down. One of the kids from the Get Down is the one that played Nas.
Mm-hmm.
And Nas was one of the what do you call it? One of the people involved in the Get Down.
Mm-hmm.
So
The behind the scenes stuff.
yeah, and I heard an interview with Roxanne probably 4 or 5 days ago, and she was talking about the reason that she did this on Netflix instead of doing it in a theater. She said, I wanted everyone to have the opportunity to see this. She said, and Netflix puts me in 150 million homes where people don't have to find somebody to watch their kids to go out and pay to see this. They can all sit around. She said they can even watch it with their kids minus one scene is the way that she said it.
Yeah, and that one scene was actually, all things considered, pretty tastefully done.
Yes. Yeah, as disgusting as it was. I mean, Hey, what's up, Fred Diedrich and CJ Mann dropping in?
Whole crew of people dropping in this week.
Yeah. But yeah, this is one of those things, even if you are not a big classic hip hop fan, it's entertaining. I mean, and
the story will hold you.
yeah, and everybody knows the name Roxanne.
Mm-hmm.
You know, whether you were there to say, okay, well, yeah, I remember when UTFO dropped and then she went back at him, and then you don't need to know that. You know Roxanne. You know who Roxanne Shante was. You know, your level of familiarity may differ, but everybody knows that name.
And Dr. Tim has been on us about the Roxanne Wars ever since we started. I wonder if he sat through this yet.
I have to ask him, because he did. Did I tell you he did get the album?
Yes.
So now I know one other person with the album.
I think he actually posted a picture of the cover when he bought it.
He may have, yeah. Yeah.
So
mine's around here. I have it down
somewhere
here instead of up there with my record player.
I thought Nia Long was fantastic.
Yes, and she talked about her in that interview too, saying that she wanted to play the part, you know, because she's always the hot girl or the pretty girl, and that's the parts that they put her in. She said she wanted to play the dressed down but strong role of her mother.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, yeah, I think that little 10-year-old Shantae, she did a banging job.
Everybody involved in that thing. The girl who played her friend. The champ is here.
Yeah.
The champ is here. What was her friend's name? Fatima?
I think so, yeah.
Both the actresses that played her were really good.
Yeah.
I just thought it was really good storytelling. And Mahershala Ali played that role of the quote-unquote boyfriend
Yeah.
well enough that you wanted to reach through that screen and throat punch him.
Yeah.
So I really thought it was very well done. I enjoyed it. I was glad I took the hour and 40 minutes. It's 100 minutes long, hour and 40 minutes.
Yep.
So if you have a Netflix ID or could borrow somebody's and you got an hour and 40 minutes to kill, check it out.
Yep.
It's really, really well done. Plus, you got to hear a little bit of Egyptian Lover in the club scene.
You got to hear a lot of hip hop going on in the background.
Yeah.
I was really happy that they did that. And within the first, in the first 5 minutes, they hit you with the 4 elements.
Yep.
So, you know, they give you a little bit for the people who, again, aren't big hip hop fans, they give you a little bit of that history that you're not going to know,
Right.
just to kind of help you understand what's going on better.
Yeah, I think they almost went out of their way to mention the elements.
Yes. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that's all right, because, now they can say it's educational too.
Yeah.
But definite thumbs up and a big pass from me. If you have a chance to see Roxanne on Netflix, it is Mr. TBT approved, I would safely say.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Find it on Netflix. Find it on Kodi. Find it through nefarious means. Whatever you got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Find it.
So do it for that.
Yep.
And now I guess we wait until the next movie comes out.
Yeah, I tell you, I
Now,
like
our
this
next-
a whole lot better than that Tupac movie they did.
This one was closer to the truth, I think.
Yeah, and that one was in the theater.
They took a lot of artistic license, did they not?
Yes, they did. Yeah.
Now we went from Queens to Queen of Beef, and this next article is just silly.
Who sent us this one? Did this one come from Sankit?
I think it did.
Yeah, because him and Hugo were all over us this week, just sending stuff left and right. So, and I tell him we had most of the show written already, so a lot of the stuff that they sent is going to get carried to next week because it's stuff that needs to be put out there. But
right.
Oh, CJ, did you seriously just say it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he did.
So everything that you put out to us this week, we will get into next week's show.
But this week, the rap. We went from the source to the rap.
Yes, not the RAP though.
The rap.com. No, the WRAP as in Saran Wrap.
Yes.
Wendy's beefs with McDonald's in a mixtape diss track. You heard me right. If you ever noticed, the neckline on Wendy's little dress there spells out mom.
Nice.
If you look at it. So it says, anyway, looks like you just got served, McDonald's. Would you like fries with that? The flame broiled wars heated up a notch or three on Friday when Wendy's spat heat at its competitor with a diss track loaded mixtape. Yeah, Wendy's.
Yeah.
The fast food chain announced the project via Twitter on Friday, writing, "The mixtape drops now, not pulling punches. We beefing."
And the funniest thing is that article is going around, and I'm sure half the people on here have seen it because half the people on here have sent it to me, about that dude from McDonald's that got busted for putting his mixtape in the Happy Meal boxes.
Yes, which is hysterical. The track "Rest in Grease" finds a rapper declaring, "You're number one, that's a joke. Why your ice cream machine always broke? Why you drive through always slow? Why your innovation just can't grow?" The track continues, "Them little tweets don't phase me. McDonald's be so lazy. I know the reason you hate me, because I'm fast food's first lady. It's Queen Wendy up in this thing. Y'all are too chicken for this beef." Oh, snap and sizzle, it says in the article. Clownin', meanwhile, seems a reference to McDonald's mascot Ronald McDonald with the lines, "Don't be silly, you can never mess with this. To beef with me, you don't want to take that risk. And got nothing to hide, we fresh on the side, but you hide from funk. That's probably why you go and paint your face."
That's some Saran Wrap and a half right there.
Ronald might want to reach out to the Insane Clown Posse for reinforcement on this one. No, they've already been beaten bad enough. No need to.
No one needs to reach out to them for
salt in
anything.
your open wound. Incidentally, the tracks don't have artist credits.
Well, that's smart.
Wendy's did not immediately reply to a request for further information about producers and artists who contributed to the mix. Listen to the birth of a new rap beef below.
Look, I am not playing this garbage. It will be in the
and
show
this
notes.
Shit is on Spotify.
It is. Yeah.
So
It
if
will
you
be in
want
the
to
show
listen to
notes.
this, by all means, listen to it.
Yeah, it's a 5-track mix on Spotify called "We Beefin" with a question mark.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a track on there, 4 for $4. Can we get into some real music now?
Please do.
The Manchester Evening News at manchestereveningnews.co.uk brings us our next article,
News from
which
around
you
the
have
world.
entitled A Space Odyssey.
Well, you'll see why.
A live orchestral rendition of Dr. Dre 2001 is coming to Gorilla in June. One of the most iconic hip hop albums ever will get an orchestral interpretation, and tickets are on sale. So the article reads, the second of Dr. Dre's 2 classic hip hop albums, since Detox never came out, is getting a live rendition in Manchester, England in June. Dr. Dre 2001 was released in 1999. Go figure.
Ahead of its
Way ahead
time.
of its time.
Yeah.
and was a record that introduced Eminem to many listeners. It also reinstated Dre's status as a hip-hop heavyweight, as it had been 7 years since he dropped The Chronic in 1992. No Strings Attached will now be bringing a live orchestral interpretation of it to Gorilla on Saturday, June 16th of 2018. Second release tickets are on sale now for £20 sterling and are available at a link on the website. You'll want to be quick, as this will sell out almost immediately. The event is for over 14s only, and doors open at 6:30 p.m.
Well, that's
Now,
nice.
I've gotten orchestral records of things before. We both have a classic case,
Yep, but Jethro
the
Tull,
tall
yep.
one. I had a London Symphony Orchestra does Led Zeppelin record.
I have string quartet does Slayer, and I have another string quartet one. Iron Maiden.
That's crazy.
Hey.
So I would listen to this when it comes out.
Yeah, what's up, Andy LaRose stopping by? Yeah, no,
Hello,
no.
Andy.
Yeah, I would check this out. This is just like Nas, minus Nas being there, but when he just did at the Kennedy Center, when he did Illmatic with an orchestra.
Yeah, we talked that was going to happen.
And did Mix-a-Lot do something with an orchestra too?
Did he?
I think
Yeah,
so.
I think he just did.
Yeah. Mix-a-Lot getting himself into a lot of mess lately, but that's for next week.
That's another story entirely. Our next article comes to us from metrotimes.com.
Yes.
And it's a slight little album review, the Detroit Metro Times. So this is St. Kitts neck of the woods.
Yeah. This one came to Mike Ranger. No, that's not his name. It's Mike from Video Rangers. But if you listen to the show, he's Mike Ranger.
Right.
He said to me, he goes, have you listened to PRhyme 2? And I said, man, I didn't know it was on Spotify yet, because you know me, I'm cheap. And if it's not on Spotify or available for free,
you listen to it first to see if you want to spend the money on it.
Yeah. I'm not just going to go out and buy, even though it's Premiere, and that's 90% sure I'm going to like it. But if it's not out there for me to listen to ahead of time, I'm not going to get it yet. So this one is on Spotify, and you should listen to it.
I was going to say, I think you've made your decision.
Yes.
Album review, PRhyme 2 proves that Royce da 5'9" just keeps getting better, which, we've been fans of Royce da 5'9" for a long time.
Yes. Yep.
So that doesn't surprise me either. Looking back at the 20-year hip-hop career of Royce da 5'9" is similar to assessing Vince Carter. Now, who slams harder?
Onyx?
Onyx or Vince Carter?
Onyx is coming to town in like 3 weeks.
Oh, yes. I know you're going to that, too.
Yes.
Assessing Vince Carter's 20-year NBA career. Some highs, some lows, and some unexplainable shit. But when he's on the court, you feel compelled to pay attention. That's a pretty good comparison, to be honest with you. Royce has ghostwritten for Dr. Dre. His 11-plus mixtapes are grossly underrated. And his last 3 solo albums, 2009's Street Hop, 2011's Success is Certain, and 2016's Layers, were arguably better than his first 3, which was Rock City in 2002, Death is Certain in 2004, and Independence Day in 2005. Layers debuted at number 1 on Billboard's top R&B hip-hop albums chart in 2016, and he admitted he made the album his fans wanted the first time around. The first two albums by his group Slaughterhouse are the kind of hip hop projects that boom bap wet dreams are made of, and his collaboration with Eminem, 2011's Hell, the sequel, felt a little pop, but was still fire, it says. Enter PRhyme 2, the sequel to 2014's highly successful PRhyme, in which Royce and legendary producer DJ Premier are back to a Green Lantern and Green Arrow tag team style collaboration.
I like that reference.
With a strong, yeah, I know you did, with a strong assist from beatmaker Ant-Man Wonder. The album starts with the gnarly tones of Premier's voice breaking down what PRhyme stands for. P for Premier, R for Royce, and you know the rest. Pounding piano keys open the album on Black History, providing the perfect jumping off point for Royce to break down the duo's musical and real life history. After that, you're better off pulling up the lyrics on Genius and opening a dictionary because Royce goes in. I swear I'm the truth, Holmes. I'm that blue chrome coupe with the roof gone. That's two-tone. I'm that dude zone talking on two phones while my new hoes eat out my palm like one of my loot homes. He raps over a 70s cool beat on One of the Hardest. Premier channels his inner Rick Rubin by cleverly using old school drums on Era, Sunflower Seeds, the most creative use of metaphor on the album, and Flirt are tales of unfortunate encounters with women.
No.
What's up, Ian Albert? Thanks for joining us. One of the most compelling undertones on the project is how Royce intertwines his critique of the current state of hip-hop and the culture. On Streets and Night, he raps, everybody coming with they chick record, big record. This gonna play in the clubs, radio hit record. Either that or they come with a diss record. I come from where you don't disrespect none of your successors. That's fire lyrics right there.
Yes.
So much for dumbing it down for the audience.
For this generation, yeah.
On the melodic and well-crafted everyday struggle, he raps, this hip-hop, all of the purists be too opinionated. You like it, you dick riding, not a fan of it, then you hating. You getting interviewed by Vlad, you either telling a story that's incriminating or Lord Jamar, what discriminating?
Ah.
The album is not perfect. You can skip past WOW, but PRhyme 2 is more heavy than the first edition. It has more layers than layers and a ton of ridiculously dope punchlines. Honestly, none of this makes sense. Royce da 5'9" is 40 years old. He's supposed to be sitting his ass down in some reality show retirement home for has-been dope rappers. But like Hawaiian Sophie and Black Thought have been proven, there is no age gap on making dope music.
Yep. And what did we just say 6-7 weeks ago? Eric Sermon? Same damn thing.
So who knows? Maybe PRhyme 2 might end up as a record of the week very soon.
It almost did, except for, being Women's History Month. I had to finish out.
Well, next week is a new month.
It is.
So I'm just throwing that against the wall to see if it sticks.
Yeah, and I will mention that the only thing that may deflect that from being a reality is this coming Friday, Czarface meets Metalface comes out.
Okay, that very well could push it. So,
just putting that out there too.
Because them damn Czarface records are awesome.
Yes,
too.
they are.
Our next article comes to us from TV1.tv.
Look, do you get TV1 up there?
Huh?
Do you get TV1 up there?
I've never seen it. I don't know if I do.
This is one of my favorite channels.
I get NY1. You know what? I'd have to look on my my cable to see if I get it.
Yeah, you should.
I get all these. Well, I just downgraded my cable, so I don't know if I get it anymore. Yeah, or if I ever did.
Yeah, it's an obscure channel as far even down here on like FiOS. It's like way.
I love
way
those
up.
obscure channels, man.
Yeah, this one plays like fairly regularly. Plays Good Times. It plays Sanford and Son. Both of them in blocks. They play what's that show that I watched? That's kind of like Behind the Music but better. Unsung. They got some really good stuff on TV1, but it's one of those channels I don't think everybody gets.
I'd have to look. I'll let you know next week if I remember.
All right.
You've named this one Hawaiian Dookie.
Yeah, I kind of had to.
Which is fucking perfect.
Even though they're doing good things, They are who they are.
It was either that or Piss Sophie.
Yes. And I just thought that had too much of an R. Kelly ring to it, and I had to let that go.
It kind of does, yeah. I like Hawaiian Dookie better. Either way, there's bodily functions in there that really don't have to be there.
They do not have to.
For nearly 3 decades, Sean Piss Dookie Combs has solidified his stamp on every part of the world. From apparel and music to spirits and water, the 48-year-old is now taking his talents into the tech world. And yes,
Did they say water?
Piss Dookie water.
Yes. Mine is back there.
Always have it with
It's
me.
actually, I don't know if you can see it. Let me see if I can find a way to get right there. On that shelf.
Very good. Look at you. In his newest interview with GQ, the music mogul revealed that he and Hawaiian Sophie are working on an app aimed at showing Black-owned and Black-friendly business in any given city. I guess that's a pretty legitimate thing to do.
That's a cool thing. You know, if that is what if you want to support Black-owned businesses or Black-run businesses, it is nice to have a directory to tell you where they're located.
The GQ cover star said, "This is not about taking away from any other community," he said. "We'll still go to Chinatown. We'll still buy Gucci." He laughed, "But the application will make it possible for us to have an economic community. It's about Blacks gaining economic power." He and Hawaiian Sophie have been talking about this, he said, about moving the race forward actively by means of making a lot of money and putting it back into the community. So like you said, not two of our favorites,
No.
but a pretty damn good thing to do.
Yeah.
I don't believe in passiveness. At some point, there has to be some kind of fight. I feel like we've done a lot of marching. It's time to start charging. There's a shop reference for you.
Yeah.
The Bad Boy CEO and the Rockefeller head honcho are no stranger to collaborating and even competing against one another. Earlier this year, Forbes named Hawaiian Sophie the highest paid rapper in hip-hop with a net worth of $900 million.
That's a lot of damn money.
Over the years, no, that's not with a B. He's a little
No.
short of a B. Over the years, the pair have alternated between the number 1 and number 2 spots on the quest for the genre's first billionaire.
Yeah.
I thought the first billionaire was
That's
Dr. Dre because he got $1 billion for the Apple thing,
He did.
but he might not have kept all of that.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they're not. Maybe that's because of an outside business venture. I don't know. Maybe they're not counting it as such.
Say what you will about how Hawaiian Sophie and others like him may have started in this business. Insert Raven Simone's ridiculous comments last month. But this is a Black excellence, and you can't be mad at that. Now, what did Raven Simone say?
I don't know. I don't listen to her. Rudy was not
I don't
my
listen
favorite.
to her much either. Yeah. When she came on, the Cosby Show jumped the shark, and that was before we found out that my name is Bill Cosby, and I like pudding. Putting my dick in unconscious chicks.
Yeah, him and CeeLo. Yeah.
I got a pudding pop for you. That one never gets old, man.
No, it doesn't.
Our next article says, "Don't go breaking my,"
Yeah.
and then you've left it.
Well, yeah.
But that's because the article will finish it for you.
It
Hot
will.
New Hip Hop, HNHH, brings us hotnewhiphop.com. Your next article comes from there. It is Q-Tip and Demi Lovato. There's a pair to draw to.
Yeah.
Return with visuals for Don't Go Breakin My Heart. Now, do you remember who the original Don't Go Breakin My Heart was?
Yeah, it's Elton John.
And
That I don't remember.
Kiki D.
Yes. I was going to say, it's a name that I'll know as soon as I hear it and go, yes.
Not related to Kiki Vandaway.
No.
Q-Tip and Demi supplement their Elton John tribute. Next month, listeners will get to tune into Revamp, one of 2 efforts in which familiar artists of today will be putting their own spin on covers of classic tracks made popular by British singer and musician Sir Elton John. I actually have an Elton John album like that from years ago. It's called 2 Rooms.
Nice.
It's all sorts of people doing Elton John and Bernie Taupin songs, but it didn't have any rappers on it because it was like 1987 or something like that,
Well,
88.
Q-Tip sings on this one.
the one I had Eric Clapton and George Michael and Sinead O'Connor and Kate Bush.
Yep.
And who the hell did the Who? Who did
the Who?
Philadelphia
Everybody.
Freedom? Hall and Oates did Philadelphia Freedom, I think. I mean, just
Nice.
all sorts of names. Oleta Adams was on there.
What cracks me up on here is that they had to make a point to tell you that Elton John was a popular British singer and musician.
Yeah. Well, it's a hip hop website.
I don't care. Everybody knows who
Usually
Elton John is.
Well, they should. I mean, Eminem worked with him on the Grammys.
Yep.
This week, we got a taste of what's to come with the debut of Q-Tip and Demi Lovato's collaborative rework of 1976's Don't Go Breakin My Heart, also made popular by Peter Griffin and supposedly Ronald Reagan over the ham radio on Family Guy.
And also
which turned out to be Rich Little.
Also by a pair of mugs that I'm making for our shop. It says, one says, "Don't go bacon my heart," and the other one says, "I couldn't if I fried." And it's eggs and bacon.
Very nice. Soon enough, we were gifted with a new video that packs just as much soul and color as the duo's rendition of the track. Elton was gracious enough to be a part of this last Tribe album that we did. Q-Tip previously explained of Elton John's appearance on We Got It From Here, Thank You For Your Service, which I completely forgot he was on that record.
Everybody was
when
on
it
that
came
record.
around to this, huh?
Said everybody was on that record.
When it came around to this, it was just serendipitous and logical to return the favor. Now, see, that's how you know it's Q-Tip talking, because who in the hell else is going to say serendipitous? Other than me for reading it.
Yes.
The extensive list of other names set to appear on Revamp include Mary J. Blige. And it better be angry Mary J. Blige. It better be somebody done cheated on me, Mary J. Blige.
Doing Candle in the Wind.
Logic, Alessia Cara, who's one of my daughter's favorites. Coldplay, Pink, Florence and the Machine, The Killers, Lady Gaga, Miley Cyrus, Mumford and Sons, Queens of the Stone Age, Ed Sheeran, Sam Smith, and on a on a tribute to Elton John himself. Okay.
Well, he's going to be old Elton John paying tribute to young Elton John.
Maybe. Revamp arrives on April 6th, so you get to listen to Q-Tip and Demi Lovato do Don't Go Breakin My Heart. I'm actually interested in hearing that.
Yeah.
Our final article of hip-hop headlines for this week comes to us from the New York Daily News. You have titled it, Up in the Bronx Where the People Are Fresh.
It was one DJ had to pass the test.
Hip-hop icons celebrate Bronx's musical significance and famed zoo. Now, I love the fact that the headline writer said celebrate Bronx's musical, not the Bronx. Because it's an X. It's not a KS. It's not multiple Bronx.
No. It's not BRONCHS.
No. I don't care what Grandmaster T says. You don't say the Brooklyn. You don't say the Manhattan, the Staten Island.
No.
It's Bronx.
Well, that's why they are so special, because they are the Bronx.
Like the Ohio State University.
Yes.
Kill that fucking noise, will you? They brought the real Bronx cheer. Hip-hop icons joined other Bronx-born notables in the Wildlife Conservation Society this week to highlight several hallmark features of the borough's cultural heritage. Among those, its status as the birthplace of hip-hop and its internationally known zoo. Bronx is so diverse culturally, Bronxite and hip-hop pioneer Curtis Fisher, also known as Grandmaster Kaz of the Cold Crush Brothers, told the Daily News, with all races, colors, creeds, and religions, we all met at the zoo. That's one thing that we all had in common. In upcoming months, the zoo will have unique pieces of art on display integrated with wildlife and conservation, plus breakdancing classes and doo-wop, hopscotch, and rhyming performances, and more. The events slated to roll out this spring are part of the Boogie Down at the Bronx Zoo campaign, created to honor the borough's rich culture as well as the multitude of folks and species who call it home. To kick it all off, several iconic borough figures got together in a garage on Bruckner Boulevard, where they watched famed graffiti artist John Crash Matos tag up a classic 1980s taxi. I wanted to just let the cab talk to me, so I bought a lot of really vibrant colors because being a Latino from Bronx, colors is what we do, Matos told the Daily News. Matos chose the chromatic hues of the Amazon rainforest to put a Bronx spin on the old Chevrolet Caprice, which is also what they used for cop cars.
Yeah.
I came with hot pinks and turquoises, which also emulate the zoo. Matos, who painted the underpass at the main entrance to the Bronx Zoo for the Wildlife Conservation Society's 100th anniversary in 1998, said this week's project took him back to familiar days growing up in the borough. And if you click on the article, you can actually see this car. It looks really freaking cool. 1980 Caprice takes you back to the old cabs of New York, he said. Another Bronx-born hip-hop legend, Melvin Glover, known as Grandmaster Melly Mel, recalled his early years growing up in the then crime-ridden Bronx and said the zoo served as a place for him to escape. The people of the Bronx deserve a neighborhood instead of a hood, he said. What we're trying to do with the zoo is we're trying to elevate everything to another level. Mel, the original vocalist on Grandmaster Flash and the Furious 5's iconic Grammy Hall of Fame tune The Message, said the Animal Haven still holds a special place in his heart. Melly Mel's 56 years old, man.
Yeah.
I used to live where Marmion Avenue is. We used to go to the zoo, pack a lunch, he said. You'd see animals from all other parts of the world. The way they had it set up, it's almost like you went there. You went overseas, or you went to Africa, or you went to Australia. That was the beauty of it, just to see something other than what we grew up with. Kaz, who's also 56 years old, who has been credited for much of the lyrics to the Sugar Hill Gang's 80s hit rapper Delight because Hank stole his book.
Yes, and for anyone who's just watching us now who is not a giant hip-hop fan or historian, Big Bank Hank from Sugar Hill Gang took Grandmaster Caz, who was writing a whole bunch of rhymes,
and was with Cold Crush Brothers at the time.
Took his rhyme book, stole it, went and auditioned to be in this put together group of Sugar Hill, and then used
and didn't even change the lyrics. He's got a lyric in there where he says, "I'm the CASA, the NOVA, and the rest is FLY."
Yeah, and Grandmaster Caz is short for Grandmaster Casanova Fly. So, when you steal a man's work, at least
and
change
then have
his
a
name.
lyric later that says, "Don't let anybody bite your rhymes."
Ah, yeah, that was rough. I'm the Grandmaster with the 3 MCs. Yeah, that was the Cold Crush Brothers. That was not Sugar Hill.
That was no.
But yeah,
no.
Yeah, if you're gonna steal somebody's stuff, take their name out of it.
Because there weren't 3 MCs other than him. There was Wonder Mike, and there was
Master G.
Master G. That was it.
Yeah.
But math was not Hank's strong suit, no matter how big his bank was.
No.
Says the hip-hop extraordinaire left his native borough just once to live in L.A., but he stayed only 2 years before returning to the Big Apple. Hip-hop hit me as a kid, and I jumped on the cultural bandwagon like a lot of us did, and I've been riding it ever since. It's like my life has come full circle, where now I'm performing at the zoo. Boogie Down at the Bronx Zoo programs run weekends from April 21st to June 3rd. And you can get alerts on the events and everything at bronxzoo.com/boogie-down.
Yeah.
So that's a pretty cool thing.
It is.
And I've only been to the Bronx Zoo once in my life.
Yeah.
So it might be worth checking out.
Yeah.
You know what else is worth checking out?
What's that?
Our first break of the evening.
Yeah. It's
we're
about
gonna
time.
take a quick. Yeah, we're going to take a little quick break, and we'll be right back because we have a whole lot of stuff to get to still because technical difficulties got us going crazy.
Like the
Not
Juicy?
like Juicy got you crazy. Hi, sweet LD. That was for you. Sugar Smack Smooches.
Yes, yes.
And on that note, we're going to take our first break of the evening. We're going to come back with some woo news right after this. Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 217, coming right back at you.
Yay.
Everybody, MC Search.
Hey, what's up? It's your boy MC Search, third base officially in the building. Searchlight Publishing. And you're listening to my man right now, Mr. Throwback Thursday's official podcast. Let's get it poppin'. It is not a game, people.
The RZA, the Jizza, Raekwon, Master Killer, Inspector Deck, You God, Method Man, Ghostface Killer, and Old Dirty Bastard.
It's now time for Woo News with Mr. Throwback Thursday.
Welcome back to Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 217. And before we get into Woo News, we want to say hello to Jennifer Buchanan and Fred Diedrich joining us. I think Fred's been here, but I think he just popped back on.
Yes.
But all sorts of new faces joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Welcome, one and all.
Yeah,
posse members.
Not many people can sit and watch us all the way through. That's a skill that not
we have
many
a hard
people
time
have.
watching each other.
It's like an endurance test.
Our first piece of Woo News comes to us from gazettes.com/entertainment. But on the top, it says The Grunion. Long Beach chef creates a Wu-Tang Clan inspired dinner. Hey, Long Beach. Local chef A.C. Barral dishes up pop-ups in the Los Angeles and Long Beach area featuring Filipino dishes with a twist. The Grunion Gazette team was in Los Angeles to preview his Rice and Shine Wu-Tang themed pop-up last week. And here's a taste of what went down.
Enter the 36 courses started a few years ago when me and the homie Vince, who I've known since first grade, he wanted to do something special for his birthday. So I decided, you know what, I'll make you dinner. We were excited for Wu-Tang Clan. We were gonna see them at a show. Let's just do a Wu-Tang dinner for his birthday. And then we just went one further and we're like, you know what, let's do 36 courses for the 36 chambers. We didn't do it all at once, but you know, we got the first 8 already out. 1 through 4 is tonight. 5 through 8 is a brunch that we're launching in June. So yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a multi-year project that we're gonna be doing. All of the dishes are named after a particular Wu-Tang song. So the first one is Uzi, which is off of the Iron Flag album. A brie, cheddar, and apple grilled cheese with a oxtail and tomato jus. After that, we got a Protect Your Neck, which is a pork belly poutine. And that's gonna have a chipotle curry gravy on top of that. And we also have some hand-cut fries that we made for that as well. The next one's gonna be Shimmy-Ya, which is gonna be after the ODB song, and it is a surf and turf with chimichurri, and then and a little ratatouille on the side. What's gonna be kind of the coup de grace is the dessert. So Wu-Tang Clan ain't nothing to fuck with, but Wu-Tang Flan is also nothing to fuck with as well. So we've got a gold leaf W flan with some balsamic berry sauce on the bottom of it. So yeah, it's gonna be a good meal.
Wu-Tang, 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 Wu-Tang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody go
Wu-Tang
and check that out.
Who do we know out in L.A.?
Let's see. I'm going to tell you again. I say this every time we talk about California. It's all the same place to me. So Hugo,
I don't know where things are.
So I'm gonna count on our West Coast correspondent,
Hugo, to
make the journey, however many hours or days away that is. It could be around the corner from him. It could be 7 hours away. I don't know. But when you are the West Coast correspondent, you know,
that's a whole lot of ground to cover.
Yep, you can go from Mexico to Bremelos, cover it all.
Bremelos. Nice. Our next article, and I love the way you titled this one.
Why, thank you.
You have titled it The RZtAtorship.
Not a RZtAtorship, no.
No. The RZtAtorship.
Yes.
Is it RZTator or RZator? RZTator, I guess.
Sure.
RZtAtor.
The Resurrector? No.
I had an infection in my RZtAtor one time. Shot of penicillin, cleared it right up. NME.com brings us our next article. and it is Wu-Tang Clan's You God hits out at dictator RZA in his new memoir. It's really years of BS catching up to RZA. Wu-Tang Clan member You God, who sucks, criticizes the group's de facto leader RZA in his new memoir with an extract from the book seeking the rapper portraying his bandmates as a dictator. Raw, My Journey into the Wu-Tang is out now. Rolling Stone has published an excerpt from it in which You God takes aim at RZA's leadership of the hip-hop outfit. Right now, it just looks like the Wu brothers are not on the same page, going at each other's throats, missing shows and all that, You God writes. But to me, it's really years of BS catching up to RZA. Don't get me wrong, at the end of the day, my brothers and I typically work things out and still come together as the clan, but in 25 years of being in the business, RZA has never placed the group at an A-list agency.
Okay.
Just talking to...
Again.
Go ahead.
You get the RZA... You're talking shit about him. You sued the guy. Who knows what else you put out about him in this book, because I'm not buying it because I fucking hate You God. But you're going to say, oh, yeah, we do all this stuff, but then we're still friends. Look, you sue me? you talk
We are not friends.
No, you talk that much shit about me in print? And no.
You God continues. Just talking about this shit frustrates me, he says. I mean, here we are, the Rolling Stones of hip-hop, and we ain't even got proper representation. Meanwhile, RZA's always had an A-list agent repping him personally. What the fuck is that all about, he says. He continues. RZA also started becoming a bit of a control freak around this time. He wanted to control budget, publishing, writing hooks, everything. I kept quiet and kept working, but it didn't take a brain surgeon to see he was trying too hard to control the entire creative process.
Well, when he's your main producer, that's a natural instinct for the producer, and him being an MC as well. I mean, what is there that the RZA doesn't do? So being
apparently kiss You God's ass.
Yeah. So when you do that many things and you do them well, it's a natural thing for you to say, okay, well, I'm going to do that.
Great, brother.
Yeah, until somebody else steps in and goes, how about this? They go, oh, yeah, okay, sorry, go ahead, man.
Which sometimes has happened in the past.
Yeah.
Back to You God. Now, Riz is undeniably talented. He's also a good talker, smart, and a groundbreaking genre-bending producer. But I wouldn't go so far as to call him a hit record maker. Calling for collaboration, not domination, You God goes on to stress that the group can't become a dictatorship with everything coming from the top down, adding, it takes a certain kind of personality to be able to run the ship, but still be open to ideas and collaboration. Trying to exert too much control over grown-ass men. First of all, if you have to use the word grown-ass man, you are not a grown man. Trying to exert too much control over grown-ass men leads to problems. RZA doesn't know how to let go and let motherfuckers be grown men anymore, like he used to back in the day when it was 4 or 5 motherfuckers during the country in an old Mitsubishi Scorpion.
Look,
somewhere along the way.
We've talked about it, you know, how the deal was, the RZA had all these guys together, and the plan was, all right, we're going to put out this one record together, then everybody's going to split off and go do their own thing and make money, and then everybody's going to come back together with the power of all of those solo records under their belt, and we're going to put out another album, and everybody's going to split up again, and it worked.
Mm-hmm. Devilish DJ Scott's joined us.
What up, Scott? Until some of those people didn't do as well on their solo albums without
You God,
without some people's help. So now maybe they hold grudges, because you don't hear Method Man talking shit about the RZA. You don't.
No, because Method Man put out a quality record.
Yeah, you don't hear Inspector Deck, Jizza, but you don't hear ODB talking about anything. But,
Toastface.
Yeah, Raekwon. You don't hear any of those dudes talking shit about the RZA.
Because
they know They know what
you mention
offers.
any of those. You mention any of those guys, I can tell you what their solo records are. You mention You God, I can't tell you what his solo record is.
Yeah, you go, hey, what is he? Something. They called him Golden Arms, and I don't know. But,
RZA doesn't bother. Liquid Swords wasn't a bad record.
No.
Only Built for Cuban Links was not a bad record.
Nope. Yeah. Did anybody ever heard of Tikal? Come on. These. So when
Little.
Yeah, when you God's the one who's out there whining, you God's the one who's not known. He'll tell you himself even. He is the least known member of the Wu-Tang Clan. Capadonna.
People know Capadonna better
Yeah.
than him. Because there's always that argument. Is Capadonna part of the Wu or is he an affiliate?
Right. Yeah, he was supposed to be an original member, but that's a different story.
You God's just the cousin that shows up at the family reunion that nobody talks to.
Mm-hmm. I'm here because I'm family.
Anyway, back to You God.
Yes.
Somewhere along the way, he forgot to let his soldiers do what he initially recruited us to do and coached us to do. He forgot that you don't tear down your soldiers, you build your soldiers up, because when they rise up, they bring you with them. It says NME has reached out for RZA's representation for a response and has received none.
Me too. I've reached out to his representatives for response, and I've got nothing either. So,
in 2016, You God sued his Wu-Tang bandmates for $2.5 million, claiming that he hadn't seen royalties from the group for over half a decade. He also alleged to not receive any money from the sale of Wu-Tang Clan's one-of-a-kind album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin, which was sold to Martin Shitdick for $2 million back in 2015.
right. But as we said, that's really not a Wu album.
No.
That's a Silver Rings production.
And there's some kind of
You like how I've been lining all these things up
controversy
this
on
week?
that record. And yeah, you did this really well. Our final article of Wu News comes to us from Forbes magazine. So not only did we go right into it, we went to a highly reputable source.
Yeah. Not everything we do is, backwoods newspapers and
Why Jeff Sessions may control the fate of Wu-Tang's secret album. And you have entitled this, Will He Hide It in His Tree? Because you are convinced that Jeff Sessions is the Keebler elf.
he is. There's nothing you can do to convince me otherwise. Have you ever seen the two of them in the same place at the same time?
No, I can't say that I have.
No.
Jeff Sessions isn't exactly what you'd call a fan of hip-hop. While rappers from Hawaiian Sophie to Common speak out against mass incarceration, the U.S. Attorney General has reversed Obama-era initiatives phasing out federal use of private prisons, even as Wiz Khalifa and Snoop Dogg advocate for full legalization of marijuana. Sessions has crusaded against cannabis. So it may come as a surprise that he might end up in determining the fate of Wu-Tang's album, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin.
He said he's as much against cannabis as LL was.
Oh, wow. Cannabis won that battle. I don't give a shit what anybody says.
Yep.
According to a Department of Justice filing released yesterday, reported here for the first time, the United States District Court for the Eastern District of New York has entered an order calling for disgraced pharma executive Martin Shitdick to forfeit the star-crossed record, along with $5 million in a brokerage account, a stake in Viera Pharmaceuticals, a Picasso painting, and his copy of Lil Wayne's forthcoming album, The Carter 5, up to the amount of $7,360,450 in the wake of a fraud conviction. Representatives from the Department of Justice did not respond to a request for comment on the matter and Sessions' role therein, but the filing is fairly clear. The United States hereby gives notice of its intent to dispose of the forfeited property in such manner as the United States Attorney General may direct. As strange as the notion of Sessions controlling the destiny of a Wu-Tang album may sound, even indirectly as appears to be the case here, this is merely the most recent chapter in a very bizarre saga that started when Forbes first reported the existence of the record almost 4 years ago. Shitdick ended up buying the loan copy of the record in a complex $2 million deal in December of 2015, but was sentenced to 7 years in jail earlier this month. The judge authorized the sale of assets to pay victims of his fraud. The most fascinating question that now arises is the legality of seizing a work still owned in part by Tariq Silver Rings Azagar and Robert RZA Diggs,
Yep.
producers of the Wu-Tang album. In addition to holding 50% of the master recording, they also stipulated that the album's buyer couldn't sell it until 88 years after purchase. And that, in the meantime, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin was only for the buyer's personal use, part of a plan to push the value of music back to the level of fine art. The contract the album was sold under requires Mr. Shitdick to bind any new taker of the album to all the same terms it was sold under, says Peter Schoolidge, Silver Rings' attorney. The album has not yet been physically seized as far as he knows. If and when that happens, my client could file papers in the forfeiture proceeding to enforce the restrictions on use of the album. What's up, Bryce? Shitdick could also still file an appeal, which would further delay the process. His attorney, Ben Braffman, did not immediately reply to a request for comment. Even if the government does get its hands on the album and finds a way to sell it legally, Once Upon a Time in Shaolin probably isn't worth $2 million anymore.
Yeah.
In 2016, Shitdick promised to leak the album if Donald Trump won the presidential election. Shitdick, a Trump supporter, once landed in jail for breaking a bail agreement by putting a $5,000 public bounty on a strand of Hillary Clinton's hair. Shitdick followed through on his Wu-Tang guarantee and live streamed some of the songs on the group's Secret album in 2016 in November. When he later tried to sell it on eBay, the bids barely topped $1 million.
Yeah.
Shitdick was incarcerated before any deal could be consummated. There's an update at the bottom. It says a government spokesperson says the forfeiture is being handled directly by the Civil Division of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Eastern District of New York. Sessions remains indirectly responsible as head of the Department of Justice. So, stay tuned. You never know with this thing. And that's going to do it for Woo News for episode 217, other than the fact that You God still sucks and ODB is still dead.
Yes. And hey to Gail. Gail Dunmeyer stopping by.
Hi, Gail. Our one and done. We are up to the one and done. And our one and done is a huh?
Well, yes. And that's why I put the little extra note in there for you, because a lot of people are going to say that. A lot of people know the second half of this group, the DJ and producer, now. And my opinion, I put this group in because it is a group, even though it's listed as a single name. It is a group. This would have been on the list of what ifs.
Yeah,
he doesn't make my top of what, but this is very, very high on the list of what ifs, and I want everybody to listen. And you can go ahead and get into some of the biography after you mention this to tell them who he is, because a lot of people don't even know who he is. They know, and I'll tell you the other half. They know Peanut Butter Wolf because he is right now still popular. But
so our one and done came to us December 16th of 1993. It was on Hollywood Basic and Stone's Throw Records.
Which is that not owned by Peanut Butter Wolf?
I believe it is. And it is, I believe, the debut album.
Yeah. It's a true one and done.
One and done. Yeah. And this would be how come I don't have the album? I only have the artist. What is wrong with me?
Did I only send you the artist?
You might have only sent me the artist. I'm assuming.
Well, because he's only got one album, so.
Yeah. I'm assuming we're doing Big Shots.
We are.
So the record, let's go back.
Yes.
November 18th, 2003, this record came out.
Right.
Running 46 minutes and 24 seconds long on Stone's Throw Records, produced by Peanut Butter Wolf, is a studio album by American hip-hop duo Charisma with Peanut Butter Wolf.
Right. And
it is called Big Shots.
Yeah. And why are we doing an album that was released in 2003?
Well, let's take a look. It says Charisma was 13 when he got his first taste for hip-hop, started rapping in high school talent shows. He was only 16 when he met 19-year-old Chris Manak, also known as Peanut Butter Wolf. In 1990, they became best friends, recording several demos. Please listen to my demo.
Yeah.
And performing live in the San Jose area. After hearing Charisma on San Jose State's KSJS 90.5 FM, Matt Brown approached Charisma and Peanut Butter Wolf, offering to become their manager. They agreed and began looking for a record label, and after entertaining offers from some major record labels, including Columbia, they signed with the Disney-owned record label Hollywood Basic, which is now Hollywood Records. While signed to Hollywood Basic, Charisma and Peanut Butter Wolf recorded several tracks, but Hollywood Basic never released an album because of creative differences between the artists and the label. Charisma stated, the stuff we wanted to do was not what Hollywood wanted. When we first got signed, they kept asking us for more and more songs. After we got signed, they were turning things down left and right. They were talking about bringing outside producers. But Pete Rock and CL Smooth never had outside producers. Gangstar never did. It's like they almost liked the image of us more than they liked our talent. Only a promotional cassette with the single Red Light, Green Light and a flexi disc with the single Jack the Mac that was featured in an issue of the Bay Area hip-hop magazine Bomb were ever released while signed to Hollywood Basic. Even without having released an album, the duo still gained a following. They routinely performed live in the Bay Area, toured Germany with label mates Raw Fusion, and were featured in Billboard magazine. They also opened for both Nas and The Far Side, but the conflicts with Hollywood Basic's executives continued, and they were soon released from their contract. Charisma and Peanut Butter Wolf were still collaborating when it was cut short, as Charisma was shot dead in a mugging outside a church in East Palo Alto, California, December 16th, 1993. His killer was arrested the very same day. Peanut Butter Wolf retained the tracks recorded while signed to Hollywood Basic, and after founding his own record label, Stone's Throw Records, posthumously released an EP called M-Town and the full-length album Big Shots in 2003, over 10 years after the tracks were originally recorded. Big Shots, even though it was a stylistic throwback to the early 90s era of hip-hop, was well received by critics and fans alike, reaching number 3 on CMJ Magazine's hip-hop chart. So, with that being said, let's take a look at the true one full-length album by Charisma and Peanut Butter Wolf. I have, on this record, again, it's called Big Shots, 15 tracks.
As do I. Yes, so although released in 2003, is a 1993 album.
Our first track, Here's a Smirk. Track number 2, Methods, M-E-T-H-O-D-S.
Rap battles, I saw MCs going at it. Crews playing new records, I arrive in Park Static. From Frisco to Oakland, like Bronx to Manhattan. You know what's happening, Charisma style of rapping. AOB, you know your man Quan, that's 7 feet tall. He should drop the mic and pick up a basketball. Yes, y'all, mad love to my crew, everyone's real cool.
Pretty steady lyricism there.
Yeah.
Track number 3, Jack the Mac.
This is the Let's Pretend story of Jack.
Yet I feel like the Mac. Jack 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 the skins go ooh over the Jack the Mac. J-A-C-K-M-A-C-K, how the bat is that?
Long
Track
intros, or you hear a whole lot more.
Track number 4 is only 1 minute and 24 seconds long. Talk About a Girl.
okay, I give in. You got a friend? Then meet me and my man around 10. You see, I play a too short tape. Just to let you tricky little girls know I'm not fake. A little anxious, cool girl, get comfy. Dim the lights and plug the phone cause it bugs me. I'm wearing Timbs with the tutu at my waist. Apple juice is cold and I'm in the place.
Apple juice is cold, and I'm in the place.
Oh, well, lemonade is a popular drink.
And it still is.
Track number 5, Red Light, Green Light.
What is an MC if you can't rap? What is an MC if you can't rap?
1, 2, 3. Green light, tic tac toe, yo. Here we go. Red means stop and green light means go. Common sense drop, cause I truly love the hip hop. I even like to beatbox in the morning. I'm usually yawning. Then I'm kicking crazy rhymes until the break of dawning. Cause I know, and you know, a gun goes boom. But you didn't know I'm funky like a project hoe. Oh yeah, till the honey slide the number. Cause when it comes to skins, I lay my pipe like a plumber. So watch.
Just had to get to that line. Jennifer, he was 16 when this was recorded.
We've had a lot of artists that we've run lately that were young when they recorded these records.
Yeah.
Track number 6, Tell You Something.
First of all, I think so, but I'm gonna be
I plan to
late.
leave the studio.
You'll probably be there
cut
before
out a
her
couple
anyway.
days,
I
you
know.
I think I wanna tell you something.
Well, go on, tell me something.
I think I wanna tell you something.
Well, go on, tell me something.
I think I wanna tell you something.
I just hear a Fire Marshal Bill in my head.
Well, if you want to tell them something, gather round.
Yeah.
Track number 7, Gather Round.
Gather round.
Reach the very within of you and get in touch with the way that you feel.
I'm coming in, I'm here, now shall I introduce myself? So live and direct, and I'm pouring off the shelf. Many MCC, they try to flow, but yo, I'm like a gun, pull out my rhyme and go, there we go, it's gone. The style is for the troopers, sweeping up rhymes like Hooper Scoopers. Here we go, I stay cool and stack the papes, lounge with my rhyme, PB Wolf things in the crates. Hoodies and some boots, I'm kicking hip hop in my hood.
Actually, no. If he died in '93, he was probably 19 when this was recorded.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Track number 8, Devotion.
Hello, sweet, how have you been?
Fine, what have you been doing?
Making ends with my friends, cooling, roaming the streets, making beats harder than concrete, from pins to pads, the techniques. I haven't been around, throwing the essence, I'm there. My days are sunny, but I'm like sunny.
Yeah, that's the early '90s style. I love it.
Well, since they mentioned Apple Juice is Cold,
Yeah.
track number 9 is a 38-second track called Apple Juice Break, which goes right into number 10, My World Premiere.
EPMD is a world premiere.
Mm-hmm.
Apple juice break. 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 Fly sporadic, let's get dramatic, cause I'm new with no static. Cause here's a smart from a bro that shot. I put two hands
That beginning
together
sounded
like
very
Rock.
RZA-like.
Yeah. He's a dictator.
Track number 11, Ice Cream Truck.
Ticking, tacking toes.
Track number 12, Charisma. What?
This is Steve Austin.
Yo, Chris, rewind it, man. Kick that shit, charisma, I put things in motion. I'm not coasting, cause rhymes deeper than the ocean. So put the shit on foul, cause I'm buck wild. Sure enough, got style, ruthless like a juvenile. Cause many MCs can't hang tough. Started a bluff, then they soon got snuffed.
That's got to be one of the most used rhymes in all time. Deeper than the ocean.
Yeah. Track number 13, Fair Weathered Friend.
Let me know, is it time? I'm coming over your radio, so I bust rhymes. High school was cool, and I got a little clout. Debating with the girls who will I meet when school's out. I cut my hat and mind my own most of the time alone. Don't put me on hold, I'm not a telephone. It's a full moon and PB Wolf goes out.
There's a lot of KMD feel out of that one.
Mm-hmm. Track number 14. Maybe he was a professor.
Maybe.
Soon to be large.
All right, here we go.
Now this little rhyme goes to the hood, and this little rhyme is up to no good. So why don't you just come selector, the beat you'll flip it up, and like a recipe, why don't you mix it up and mix it up, right? Yo, well here we go, the reggae style is not me, but I go boom, boom, one time, boom, boom, two times, so what, so call it call because this all rhyme.
Finally, track number 15, last track on the record, Pacing the Floor.
Ooh. Oh, Rocket.
Pacing the floor, thinking where's my next pay? Pacing the floor, looking for my mind to create hip-hop. So I come with something bug, meditate at my rest. Here goes my mic plug, hook me in when I'm headed downtown. Give my crews pounds, they know I'm still around. Coolin', bagging up crews with no doubt. When I'm rolling dice, I got my boys.
And that, my friends, is your one and done for episode 217. Big Shots by Charisma with Peanut Butter Wolf. No charting action for the record because it took 10 years to release.
Yeah.
And even though it had great critical acclaim, it did not chart anywhere.
Yeah.
But doesn't make it a bad record. In fact, I actually very much enjoyed it. And I will go back and listen to it in full when I have the time.
Yeah, that's a really good record. And it's one of those ones that not a lot of people know about. Like I said, everybody, well, not everybody, so many people know the name Peanut Butter Wolf now. But to know how good Charisma was,
right?
It's one of those that you need people like us to put that out there and get the music played.
Mm-hmm. So, thank you very much for bringing that to everybody's attention. I enjoyed that record this week.
I'm glad.
As I'm going to enjoy the record of the week.
Yes.
The record of the week this week, keeping with the Women's History Month theme, is another record by one of our favorite female artists and friend of the show.
Yes.
Came out April 4th of 2000, running 66 minutes long on Flip Mode Records and Elektra Records, produced by Busta Rhymes, Knots, DJ Shock, Megahertz, DJ Premier, Pete Rock, Rockwilder, Dave Atkinson, Mr. Walt, DJ Scratch, and Nobody. That's a whole lot of producers.
And Tragedy Gaddafi.
Tragedy Gaddafi.
and Savion Glover, as you've never seen on him before.
This is the debut album by American hip-hop recording artist Rod Digga, and it is called Dirty Harriet.
Yeah.
As you might have heard on our drop, which I have a feeling will probably be played after this.
Yeah, I got to pull it up in the audio because I don't have a video made for it yet. It's anyone who's been looking around at our social media, or if you've checked out our press kit, you'll see I'm starting to make they're not videos. They are audio with a picture. So that we can kind of promote that there's people out there aside from the two of us that believe in us and that endorse us, and that they're kind of, famous people
on board.
They're not just Joey from around the corner and, Pookie down the block. It's, it's the people that we talk about. It's the music that we play. So I have to make one up for Rod Digger still. I have to make a whole bunch of them up still. I'm getting there slowly but surely. But yeah, I may do a video one for this and then put her into the audio in post. I'm not sure yet. But yes, she was scheduled. I just didn't get to make one yet.
So let's take a look. I got 18 tracks on this record.
That's a lot of music. I got 18. We'll play a little less than our normal 30 seconds.
Yeah.
So we can get you
Track
through.
number 1 is an intro called Intro.
It's the best title for an intro ever.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That guitar right
Flip Mode Squad.
Track number 2, Harriet Thugman.
I always loved the name of this
that
one.
title.
Yeah.
That track was tight.
Yes.
And so was track number 3. Tight.
Shit tight, down to the coochie. Yeah, check it. And I say what's tight, cause the sister write rhymes all day and all night. Dwelling south of the Hudson, New Jerusalem, in seclusion, using fake pseudonyms. I'm true bad. Mine travels like a schizo on 2 tabs with do-rags hanging from my pockets.
Brick City.
Rod Digger's nasty, man.
Yes.
She don't play.
No, I think she's coming here too. Real soon.
Track number 4, What They Call Me. Track number 5.
Okay.
Right?
Yes. And track number 5 features an artist that almost took this slot for Record of the Week, but I pushed Rod Digger through.
And which one is that? Eve or Sonia Blade?
No, that would be the First Lady of the Rough Riders.
That would be Eve.
Yes.
This one is called Do the Ladies Run This? This month they do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this being the last week of Women's History Month, it was all kinds of, all right, do I do Rod Digger? Do I do Eve? Do I put up Bahamadia? There was so many. I'm like, man, but that gives me a whole bunch of records to do next month and the month after. So
Sure does. Track number 6 features Busta Rhymes.
Yeah.
Imperial.
Some old year 2000 shit for you motherfuckers. This generation rules the nation with version.
track is about 6.5 minutes.
Yeah,
of
it
just
is.
Booming. Track number 7, Curtains.
Hey, yo. What's up, baby? Talk to me. Alright. Outside is my clique. Flip mode is the squad. Yeah. Ride digger. Bust it. From the dick, I'm dissing all y'all punk crews. Y'all whack it won't even think of punchlines I don't use. Into the niggas who
What?
Something beeped at you.
Yeah, it's OBS telling me that it stopped. It disconnected and stopped streaming, but I didn't see it stop streaming. So,
Live video interrupted, but now it looks like it's back.
yeah, there you go.
Track number 8, Showdown.
Who that? Sister from the hilltop. Wicked flows. Make a nigga grill drop.
Track number, let's see, I think 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
The Last Word, featuring Outsiders.
This is a story, but not really a story. It's just some freestyle shit. My name is RZtAtorship, and this here is the outside. My nigga.
Since I've been on television, girls been begging me to swell the kitten. Black or white when the lights go off, I can't tell the difference. Thought you'd impress me when you didn't. I got mad freestyle and hella written.
A mad freestyle and hella written.
Track number 10, Break, Fool.
See me on the block with the chromed out drop, lambskin head to toe, busting out my halter top, tight whipping through the hood, blow up the whole spot with the system. TV for mine. Murking the scene on a quest for lime green, steady puffing on.
Track number 11, Straight Spittin', Part 2. I don't remember Part 1.
This is what I'm doing. About to make a killing off illin' off a hydro. Put it on the rapper like they working out Tavo. Here to make a statement. Not on your game, you gon' catch it like the pavement. All that blase,
Is it blase? Danger.
Danger. Track number 12, What's Up With That? Brought to you by the Hurricane.
Yes.
First and only female representing. Yeah. Now I'ma tell it like it ain't never been told. With the rhyme mechanism to boost me tenfold. Spin dough with puffs, saying no to scrubs.
Track number 13 features Carl Thomas, and it's called So Cool.
How cool?
So cool.
Call me conductor, I lead the way for you. Underground vibe, status, self-employed, RZA, aka Harriet Thugman. Carry out the legacy with seed and husband. Now off with the head thingy, watch me flip to a genie, and I be a Mac like Beanie. Out the bottle, I turn thug supermodel. With rhymes that'll make you have to settle for
Track number 14 featuring Flip Mode Squad. Just for you.
Flip mode, y'all. Flip mode, y'all. Flip mode, y'all.
Never judge a nigga like the cover of a book. Fuck around and get shot back in the foot. Niggas fall, stumble and look, nervous and shook. Dragged in the alley.
Track number 15. This is the first time I've had to do this with a song
Yeah.
title, I think. It's called Fuck Y'all Nickelbacks. Because there's certain words we don't say anymore
That's
here.
right.
Represent for all my bitches across the globe. Ladies, we gon' set it one time. Come on, say fuck y'all niggas. Fuck y'all niggas. Every one of y'all niggas. Don't trust y'all niggas. Fuck all y'all niggas. Come on. All my bitches that had it up to here, we about to make changes coming in the new year.
About to make changes coming in the new year.
Track number 16, Lessons of Today.
Oh, that's the premiere track, isn't it?
Yep.
I can hear that right away.
The only premiere track on the record.
Is it?
Check it out now. Now I'm the baby in the family and I got 3 siblings. 3 older brothers and we trying to make a living. So we hustle and we bubble and we coming up fast.
The premiere sounded like a fingerprint, man.
Yeah. Well, it is to you.
Yeah.
That's for sure. Track number 17 is a bonus track called... called Handle Your BI.
Okay.
I'm not sure what a BI is.
Chicks on the strip, red thugs on the street. I got what you want, I got what you need. Red chicks on the strip, red thugs on the street. Digga, birth name Rashia, rock the mic crazy, wouldn't wanna be ya. Had a nice swing since my early teens. Now I'm grown, rocking microphones.
And finally, track number 18, another bonus track called Clap Your Hands.
Clap your hands where my eyes can see.
Clap your hands, everybody, if you got what it takes.
Now tell everybody how you came up with your name. What was it like trying to get up in the game? Dirty Harry is the name, saying anything goes, acting like you never seen a tomboy in dress clothes, like to run around splurging, deep in the excursion. TV people pissed cause I spit the dirty version. Now tell everybody what be going through your mind. Up on the stage when you about to bust.
And that is your record of the week for episode 217, Dirty Harriet by RZtAtorship. No singles charted, but the album did chart on 2 charts. On the U.S. Billboard 200. This thing shot up all the way to number 18.
Nice.
On the U.S. top R&B and hip-hop albums, this shot all the way to number 3.
Damn.
So, lot of chart love for this record.
Well, that's because
RZtAtorship don't play, man.
No. Plus, Rockwilder's on this one.
Yeah. I'll punch him in the throat. We want to take a minute to remind you, first of all, your one and done this week was Big Shots by Charisma. And the record of the week, Dirty Harriet by RZtAtorship. And your artist of the month for this last week of March 2013, still MC Light. So go check out some MC Light for this last week of March. And get your suggestions in. Go to MrThrowbackThursday.com.
Yes.
And click on the Hit Us Up microphone and give us your ideas for Artist of the Month for April of 2018.
Yes. And for
we're going to take our...
Yeah, anybody who happens to be watching still, and welcome back, Timmy Cockerham. Anybody who's watching, call your friends, hide your kids, hide your wife. You're going to want to be here for this next segment.
Oh, great. On that note, we're going to take our final break. We're going to come back. I'm going to read some lyrics. We'll go over the question to the posse from the posse, and then we're going to call it a day. Mr. Throwback Thursday, episode 217, coming right back at you.
Yo, Chuck, run a power move on him.
Yo, check this out. Chuck B probably going to be number 1. And you're checking out Bam, Jamie and Bill. Go back to Thursday, right here, right now.
Don't give us a 2 hours.
But it starts with Bill.
I'm Bill S. Preston. It's called reading. Top to bottom, left to right. Group words together as a sentence. Take Tylenol for any headaches. Midol for any cramps.
Most people probably don't listen to the lyrics, but they should.
Welcome to Bill Reads Lyrics.
Welcome back to episode 217, Mr. Throwback Thursday, my favorite video bump of all of the ones you've come up with, because that one's just really good. It is indeed time for Bill Reads Lyrics. And I guess you were already warned, so I'm afraid.
Yeah.
So go ahead, hit me up.
Consider yourselves warned.
Okay, let's see.
How you
I
living,
thought I
Hobbs?
did this once.
You did not do this one. You've done a whole bunch of their stuff. You've not done this one.
I would have bet money I did this one.
And we're of course going to do verse 2.
Of course, because why would we not?
Well, because verse 3 is just call and response, as is everything. But verse 2 is very important because of who it is.
Yes.
Okay. So are you mentally prepared?
Yeah, and we're going all the way down to the chorus, right?
Well, of course.
Okay, yeah, I'm prepared.
All right.
Am I doing a voice?
No. We won't put any extra
Good.
strain on you this evening.
Yeah, I didn't know if anybody sent any suggestions.
No. This one's all mine.
Yay, you.
Yay. So, with no type of ado, Grover style, whether
nearer
or fervor.
That's my favorite part of this now.
Cue the motherfucking piano.
Face down, ass up. That's the way I like to fuck. I like the butt. It's my favorite position. I'm tired of the front, so that's why I'm bitchin'. Flip-flop it, baby. Bend your ass over in a full house spread. Let me hold you. Marquise, a raw dick motherfucker, virgin mouthpieces, the best dick suckers, dick tricks go round and down and round. Grip it with your pussy. Go up and down. I got her calling my name out when I'm freaking out. I bust a nut and then I'm breaking out. So when you're naked, down on all fours, you better make sure that you get yours. Because a nickelback like me will love you and leave you. I got mine, ho. See ya.
Yes. Now, Jennifer Buchanan now needs a blankie. I believe you have sent her into a fetal position.
You sent her into a fetal position.
I did nothing.
Just read it.
I just played the piano. That is my job. Play the piano.
Well, then let's just add at the end, from Luke's verse.
Yes.
Pussy ain't nothing but meat on the bone. Suck it or fuck it or leave it alone.
Yes. And then everybody
liked it.
hollers. Yes, of course, Hugo liked it. and that was the man. Yo, this Marquise baby. Are you down with it?
Down with it?
Love me some Marquise.
I don't even know how to interpret what Jennifer just put up, but it can't be good. So.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah. That was
that was that.
The vocal stylings of Brother Marquise.
Thank God you didn't make me do that one as Elmo.
Yeah.
Hey, let's do this question to the posse from the posse real quick and get out of here because we're getting late here.
We can do that. Yeah, we didn't have a ton of responses, so it's okay. Let me see.
Do you have a question from the posse video bump?
I don't yet. I'm working on it.
Okay.
I haven't quite gotten to that mostly because everybody stopped giving us questions from the posse.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, and it is a question from the posse bumper that we have.
Posse.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So let me see. I got to go to me because I didn't hashtag this one.
Of
So
course not.
Well, I do it because that helps me find it.
You're right.
Which is why I do it. Oh, unlike today's tweet, since I have to listen to Sirius XM Fly until Rock the Bells Radio comes on.
Yeah, I can't listen to that.
Yeah, today's I'm a big fan of XM Fly. Giving me DMX followed by Brandy is kind of like giving me Jolt Cola followed by NyQuil. All right, so yes. So this week was a question from the posse to the posse. At NewSun84, that's Brian, asks who was the biggest what if in hip hop. So we know the one clear answer, A, the brother upon this song, B and C, I don't know, but that answer is wrong. So
that would be the DOC.
Yeah, so after the DOC, who was the biggest what if?
Who liked and responded to the tweet, by the way.
Yes, he did.
And responded to my response, too, which I thought was cool.
Yeah, DOC is really cool on Twitter. He'll get back with you. He'll hit up your answers. He's a really cool dude.
Sounded like I got him to agree to an interview, too. So
yeah, it's
who knows?
Matter of getting a hold of him again and saying, hey, man.
Yep.
I ain't fat. So we got
we all fat.
We got some cool answers. It wasn't just...
Yeah, the answers went away. I didn't think they were going to go.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Yeah, we had Outlawed Mind said Biggie, Guru, Pimp C, Ice-T if the feds didn't raid him. was that at 6 in the morning when they did that? Oh.
6 in the morning.
Then you had at Real Ira Levi said, what if Tupac had not signed with Death Row Music? See, now that's a much cooler answer than saying Tupac. Because,
because if he hadn't signed with Death Row, maybe he's still alive.
Yeah. At Funkadelic Relic said Scott LaRock, which is one that should have quickly come to mind, but didn't.
Yeah, I didn't think of that either until it was mentioned, and I was like, you know what, that's perfect.
Yeah. At Embercell said, what if Tupac had just stuck around with Digital Underground?
That was never going to happen, though.
No.
Tupac was way too talented to just be a
but
part of a group.
But had he stuck around with them, not necessarily as a member of Digital Underground, but kind of like
in that realm or in that vein of style of music, maybe.
Or even just with them, like kind of like as a squad, like Flip Mode, or if they had all stayed together.
They all. It was one dude. Digital Underground is one dude.
Hey, and it's Money B.
That's true.
Yeah. Brian, who started the question, said, what if Piss Dookie didn't make Craig Mack a featured artist on his own damn song? That's a very good question.
Especially since Craig Mack just recently passed away.
Yeah.
I think we talked about that when we talked about his death.
Yeah. At Ghost 8177 sank it. Said, what if Jerry Heller paid Ice Cube and Dr. Dre what they were owed? Yeah. What if RZA never had a flood and didn't lose all those early Woo and Gravedigger beats? Yeah. Do you want to get into yours? Because yours is the next one up.
Yeah, you can get into mine.
Right.
You can read mine.
Yeah, Bill, said he was going to wait until this week, but jumped in anyway. And said,
I stayed a little bit more true to the original spirit of the way the question was asked.
Right. Yeah, and as we've said before, there is no wrong way to answer these. It's cool that people took it and went in their own direction with it.
Absolutely.
But as the question, you were here when we asked it, so you knew based on the inflection and the discussion beforehand.
This came right to me.
Yeah, Big L.
I had this within about 10 seconds.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah.
So my answer read what?
It said your second biggest after DOC. What if was Big L? Said, had he not passed away too early, his style could have translated through the eras of hip hop. One of the greatest to pick up a mic. What if Big L was still alive? Yeah. And that's a good one. There was such a small sample size for him, but such a quality sample size.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he doesn't get mentioned. Like, he's in that same situation as Biggie, where he didn't have enough time to put out a large enough sample size to put him in that discussion.
Mm-hmm.
But what if, you know, I believe he would have been.
He'd have been bigger than Biggie.
Yeah, but Biggie gets that mention.
Because Biggie was murdered.
Yeah. So it's just weird. And with the Guru one, everybody knows at this point how I feel about Guru.
Yeah.
But Guru was. You know, he didn't need to be a what if.
He wasn't a what if. Guru was very successful.
Yeah.
Guru had all the Gangstar stuff. Guru had all the Jazzmatazz stuff.
Yeah.
He's not a what if. He's more of a damn shame it didn't last long.
Yeah, it didn't continue. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. DOC is the obvious answer. That's why we negated him as an option. Yeah.
And DOC actually responded to my response.
Yeah, I gotta find where his, because he retweeted it. It's very difficult for me to find. I have to go to his page.
Yeah, because and it's going to be impossible to find it because he tweets a lot too. So
yeah, I know. But if I go to tweets and replies, it's easier to find. But yeah, he retweeted it and then he was answering questions. Right here. See, I found you. It's this easy. He said, well, first he answered said, God bless and appreciate you. And then when you answered, he said, when you take a step back and really look at how incredible the music is and the diverse group of men and women who built it, it's pretty fucking crazy. He said, Big L, Big Pun, Tupac, Biggie, all gone too soon.
Mm-hmm.
And then you saying thanks for the quote and the addition. Said love to have you join us on our show. And then he said,
not a problem.
Not a problem. Yeah.
I don't know if it's a problem for the response or not a problem to join us, but
we'll find
have
out.
to do some work on that.
We will find out.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so that's the majority of the answers.
Yeah, it was a good question. Good
Yeah.
question and good answers that came back.
Yeah, we like questions from the posse.
So, what do you say we wrap this up?
Let's do that. Take us home.
This entire podcast has been fueled by death. Jamie's been pouring it out of his Chemex all night. That would be Death Wish Coffee, the world's strongest coffee, of which he's wearing his T-shirt and his hat this week. I cannot find my hat. I think it's out in the living room, so I went with the TBT Posse sweatshirt this week. So
You've got two hats now, don't you?
yeah,
Didn't
they're both.
Lieutenant
one
Tom
is-
gave you one, and
Yeah, Emily is wearing the one that you have on.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta find that one too. She borrowed it. I think it's actually over on my nightstand. But Death Wish Coffee, the world's strongest coffee. Facebook, Twitter, and deathwishcoffee.com. Place your order. Use the code Throwback for 10% off of your order.
Yes, do that.
Our friends Eric Sermon and Marshall Fox, also the original Rug E Fresh at Def Rugs, the newly revamped defrugs.com.
Yes.
And you can find them on Facebook and Twitter as well.
Yeah, big fancy
Order one of
website
those
now.
rugs. Huh?
Big fancy website now.
Yeah.
They have officially launched. Eric's posting it, Fox is posting it, Kim's posting it. It's you know, we kind of jumped the gun. We jumped the gun last time. It was only a soft launch. We weren't supposed to be mentioning it last week.
Whoops.
Yeah, well, we found out after we did it.
Yeah.
But this week it's official. We're allowed to talk about it. We're allowed to push it. Go over there, check them out, tell them we sent you. Get something cool.
Eclectic Goods down your way.
Yes.
Eclectic Goods, Virginia. Hand-painted shoes, painted to your specs. Check them out. Order on Facebook at Eclectic Goods on Twitter. Send them email at eclecticgoodsva@gmail.com. And you can check all their stuff out on EG Custom Kicks on the Instagram. Melted Mics, MLTD, MICS. That is Pumice T. Mandola's hip-hop themed T-shirts. And you can order with Mr. Throwback Thursday as your promo code and save 10% off there.
Yeah, I think he's got two up there. He's got the Trump Gets the Gas face one, and he's got Straight Out the fucking Dungeons of Rap, the Nas one.
Mm-hmm. Don't forget our social media network. The Mr. Throwback Thursday show is found on mrthrowbackthursday.com. That is our website. You can leave us a voice message by clicking on that microphone that says hit us up, and we will get it and hopefully play you on the radio.
Yeah.
And by radio, I mean It's Fresh Radio.
Yes.
Because we're on It's Fresh Radio with the one and only DJ B every Thursday from 6 to 8 a.m. You can also find us on Twitter. Jamie is at _MR_TBT.
It's right there.
I am at Bill_MR_TBT.
It's over there.
As he's pointing. It's somewhere over there. You can read it. And it's, right underneath my face.
Yeah.
Don't forget our friends in the industry, the Kings of Sport, Brother Nate Milton and Marcus Vanderberg. Axology with Bryce, who joined us for a little bit earlier tonight in Mr. Podcast for all of your comic book needs. Chris with a K and Chris with a CH got the gravy age for you. Our favorite fangirl is Kat. She is at Attack of the Fangirl, and she does double duty with Jamie on Don't Touch That Dial. Our friends at Death Wish Coffee, who we mentioned before, are the only other podcast that could say they are fueled by death, and that's because it's their product, Fueled by Deathcast, with the incredible Jeff and the amazing D-Man. Anthony, Imran, and Rugboy over at the Jock and Nerd podcast. Our friend Talking Ty and her webpage, Brooklyn Ty NYC.
Yeah, you might want to. You might want to keep an eye on Ty. She's about to go places and do big things, and they said a lot of these people we've been telling you about early enough where you can get to know them before they get big. Like I said, we've been talking about Death Wish since we started the show. I mean, they were obviously pretty, but it was well before Super Bowl time. Def Rugs hadn't even officially launched when we were talking about them.
So BKLYN, BKLYNTYENYC, BrooklynTyNYC.com.
Yeah. Oh, and what's up, Lieutenant Tom? He's flying out to the Dominican Republic tomorrow, or as you're
Safe
listening,
travels.
A couple days ago.
Safe travels, my friend.
And hi to Stacey Angelo. Go ahead.
Never mind the bollocks with Ask 'em and Dan. Find that at mixcloud.com/NTB show, Twitter and Instagram at NTB_show. And as we mentioned before, DJ B, the hardest working turntablist in the world. It's freshradio.com, or you can get the Fresh Radio app for your phone. Subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. iTunes, Stitcher, anywhere you can find podcasts. We're all over the place. And we'll be back with you next week for episode 218. But until then, keep it classic, my friends. Get those suggestions in for Artist of the Month for next month. Hit us up on the website and do that. And until next week, keep it classic and always remember,
new school stale, old school fresh.